How to attract men, this is for women, of course, scientific proven ways not to attract them. Now, not just to attract, but this is science, Robert. Thank you so much for joining us again on Second Act TV. Want to welcome back Robert Manni, the author of The Guys Guide to Love and host of Guys Guide Radio and TV. Robert, thank you for being here again.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me back, Silka.
I'm always glad to have you. You, of course, give us the guy's point of view, what women really want to know about men, and that's what we're going to do again today. when I research these topics and see what people are talking about out there, certain things catch my eye, and this one caught my eye. How to attract men, this is for women, of course, 11 scientific proven ways not to attract them. Now, not just to attract, but this is science, Robert.
This is women to attract men.
Women to attract men. Yes. What I want to know from you is do you agree with this? What do you think? Is this good advice for women? And each one of these points, and I'll link to the article. You can look at the research yourself and see how much credibility or whatever weight you want to give it. But let's talk about some of these points that they found. That youthfulness, I thought this was interesting. Youthfulness. And he makes a point here. It says, not youth, but youthfulness, that it's not age, but attitude. What do you think about that, Robert?
I would agree with that in context that I think that it's not the number, it's not how old you are, but how you feel, how you behave. This is something that you have to walk the walk too. You can't say I'm youthful if you have a cranky attitude. You have to have a joy de vivre. You have to have fun. You have to be interested in learning new things. You smile. You like to do things. You like to exercise. You like to, not everybody likes to exercise, but be active and curious and love to laugh. And I think if a guy sees that in a woman, the age becomes secondary to the spirit that comes through and the sparkle that comes along with that.
Yeah, I think one of the things, especially women our age, are concerned with, is men always want younger women. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I think that if that's really what they want is a younger woman, that's all they want is the age, well, then they're not for you anyway. But just youthfulness, not youth. That's what's important. Women with high self-worth, or he puts sexy confidence.
I think confidence is important, not cockiness. It's the same thing with the way women look at men. They want a guy who's comfortable in their own skin, but they don't want him to be arrogant.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing with guys seeing women. They want to feel that she's not helpless, that she has a sense of independence and a sense of who she is, and she's comfortable in her own skin, and with all, everybody has flaws. So she just knows who she is, and she loves herself. And I think that comes across, and that's a real good vibe.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, and that comes up everywhere. It's not, no big secret that confidence is important. We need to do a lot more programming about that. So yeah, if you're not confident, it's important that you build it in all areas of your life, not just dating, of course. Now, here's one that can go a little controversial. Curves. Is that if you've got that classic hourglass shape, think Sophia Loren, Marilyn Monroe, etc., that plays a large part in attraction. I'll go a little bit further. He said researchers have found that men are highly attracted to women with the waist-hip ratio of 0.7, whatever that means. I thought that was interesting that comes up today.
Every guy, every woman has their own taste. So some guys like curvy women, and some guys like thick women, and some guys like thin model-like figures, and some guys like muscular women and very super fit women now. So it's like whatever works for you. So if you want to attract a guy, I would suggest just be the best you can be, being who you are. The hip to the waist to shoulder hip ratio. Yeah, it shows curvy. Guys like curvy women, but curvy can be big curvy and can be small curvy. It's just a ratio thing, and it's kind of superficial. But maybe the point is it sends across a signal of femininity in having that hourglass shape. That's
Yeah.
what I would take. My take would be from that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward on the comments on this. Yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting that that came up. Oh, good for him, I guess, for saying it. I think he's going to get pushback. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not. That's why we're talking about it. The next one here, just showing interest. How to attract a man is by simply showing interest.
Well, I think that goes again, that's another door that swings both ways. Of course, if you want to attract somebody, you have to show them some interest. And I think there's a couple of ways to do that. Ask him questions that are relevant to who he said he was in his profile, if this is for online dating or just in general, who says he is, and also use his name, because the most beautiful sound that anybody hears from somebody else is their name. Everybody loves that. So, and be generally interested. And if you're not that interested, don't feign interest. Maybe he's not for you, but if you are interested, ask the questions that you'd want to ask. Be curious, but be authentically curious. And he'll pick up on that. Like, she's real. She's not just asking me stuff to ask me stuff. She's generally interested and digging, going that next level.
Says here, well, listen when he talks. Sure. Everybody likes to be listened to, ask questions like you just said. And then this is, yeah, find excuses to touch him. I guess when you touch somebody, that certainly, shows interest, depending on how you touch them, I suppose.
Do I really need to go there?
That's funny.
And men like to be touched. I'm obviously there's certain ways, but just the fact that if like touch the shoulder or this or that, men don't mind being touched. So as far as I know, and for me, I like it also. It says, oh, she likes me. She rubbed my arm or whatever. That's always a signal to me like, that's good.
Yeah.
But everybody's different.
Great point, though, you just said, men like that. We would not give this advice to men.
Exactly.
We would not be doing that.
I don't think you're going to find a problem with, if you touch the guy's arm. If you just go up and touch his arm, that's kind of weird. But if there's a reason why, when you're talking to him, to make casual touch, not too soon, of course, but that there's nothing wrong with that. And guys seem to like, oh, okay, she likes me. She's comfortable with me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a bad thing. You're showing comfortable, and that's a good thing, because if a guy feels like, oh, she's comfortable with me, it's a reflection on him being able to put her at ease.
Yeah, well, and one of the biggest things that makes you more interesting is when you show interest. We've done videos just on that alone. It's a great point to remember. Well, then another obvious one that we really do forget about, though, is just smile. That when you smile, you make yourself instantly more attractive.
Yeah, and a lot of that comes from attitude, having a smile, positive attitude, because not everybody's smiley face. Some people smile more easily than others. Some people are happy, but they don't look happy. So I think if you stay happy internally, then it should shine through in some way, shape, or form. And physically smiling is not going to hurt. So I think if you're a woman and you want to attract a guy, if you're not smiling, he may wonder, like, you don't want him to wonder, is she happy or not? Am I saying something wrong? By smiling, there's a disarmament about it that really works well with men.
We've talked about this so much. This has come up so much, especially, I notice it because I'm editing all the time. I edit myself, I edit other guests. And just when you have a little smile on your face, you just look so much more approachable. It's huge. But you're right. People don't think about it. They may be, feeling just absolutely wonderful, but just getting that little smile on it doesn't come natural. And he makes a good point here that if you have trouble remembering to smile, have some sort of mental reminder. I mean, really start thinking about smiling and practice smiling, especially as we age. We definitely look more attractive when we have just that little smile.
I think that's a really good point. I mean, a lot of us have, including myself, have kind of the resting bitch face. Is that what they call it? And it's like, you can't tell if they're happy or not, but they might be hilarious or might be very pleased. They just don't outwardly show it with the smile. And I think for people like that, including myself, we have to remind ourselves to put that out there, because sometimes people wonder, is he happy, or did I say something wrong? And you don't want to do that. If you're a woman, again, trying to attract a guy, you want that you want to disarm him. You want you want him to think like, she's happy, and she's happy to be with me right now, and she's having fun. Those are all three good things.
He says here, smalking. SMALKING, smiling while talking.
Smalking. That takes some practice, but I guess that's good. I like that.
that so I thought about it. I said, do I smile? I don't know if that I mean I smile a lot. It comes natural to me, but I don't know if I smile with that would take some practice, but something to think about. I love this one, playing with your hair, that it communicates, hey, I'm interested in you. And that is something he says that both sexes do, that what men do typically is like they'll rub their face. So if you're trying to, get the attention of a guy and he's like rubbing, his beard or something, that means that he's interested. What do you think?
Well, I don't have the rubbing my hair issue anymore the same way I did, but it is there. It's just very short. But anyhow, I don't know. It's like there's ways to flirt, and with the hair, I don't think if you're over 50, it's necessary to play with your hair or like shake it or throw it over your shoulder. I always find like if I see a woman, regardless of age, and she's got the ponytail and her baseball hat and she's jogging or something and it's swaying, and I think, that's kind of cool, but that's me and I'm crazy, so it doesn't matter. But I think you have to be careful if you're using your hair to flirt in terms of physically doing stuff. If your hair looks good, it should be flirting on its own as part of you.
I was going to say some of this advice is really old fashioned, maybe even a little sexist. But I was thinking, yeah, how do you do that? I guess it must be good for men to know that if you're at a party or something and you you don't know if you should approach this woman or not, if she's sitting there like this, then
Yeah,
maybe that's a really
exactly.
good, yeah, go for it. So anyway, it's fun. I'm looking forward to the comments on this. Is there something there? I don't know. Maybe there is. Well, and then just your general, and I agree with this, general energy and vibe, your body language, like sometimes when you meet people, it's like, ooh, I want to be around them. And other times it's like, oh, get away from me. That there is something about energy and that you put out there that will absolutely either attract or deter people.
I agree 1,000%. And I think it's something that you can't manufacture. You can, by being the real you. If you personify that, you will put that energy out there. And if you have positive thoughts and you really, have a lot of love, it's going to go out there and people pick up on that. And when you notice that, some people, they walk into the room and everybody notices. Now, it could be a sense of power, it could be a sense of love, it could be a sense of fun, whatever, but you can't fake it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And he says here that when you are next time you are in some sort of social situation and you notice someone that everybody sort of looks at, or what is it about them? Take note if it's something that you struggle with, and if you're comfortable with it, be outgoing, be the life of the party, that kind of stuff. Anything where you can make someone feel good, happy, that automatically, I think, ups the energy of the room and the vibe, again, if it's done authentically. And some people have issues with that.
Let's flip it too, because if you're sending out the right energy, instead of, and this is the way it is in life, instead of chasing things, if you're sending out the right energy, you will actually attract them to you.
Yeah.
So I think that's the same thing with relationships and meeting a new partner, but it's a vibe thing. And you can't fake it. You got to work on yourself. I always tell people who are getting out there to date, like, if you have stuff to work on, get your stuff, work on yourself first before you go out there. Because if you just go out there and you don't understand what happened in your last relationship, or you don't understand what you're really looking for, or you don't really understand what you're all about, and some of the mistakes you may have made, then you're going to go and you're going to get the lesson again and again and again.
And then lastly, and this is, good to know, let me see what you think, your brain, that guys really want somebody that they can talk with. Like a confident guy will attract a confident woman and vice versa. And that's really, when it all comes down to it, that connection is maybe the most important.
Yeah, and it's really, there's different types of intelligence, as we know. There's female emotional intelligence. Also, it's not just about your IQ or your intellectual capacity, it's how you use it. Are you curious? Particularly if you're over 50, there's a lot of folks, we have to admit it, then we all have friends that they're like, they have their things and that's it. And they just keep going, and hey, God bless them. But I think if you want to attract somebody, you need to be curious. And that's how you show your intellect, and also be able, if you're curious, you're going to have more knowledge. If you have more knowledge, you can carry a conversation on different topics. And I think that's what guys are looking for, that somebody that they can feel comfortable talking about anything with their partner. That's a good place to be.
You just made another really great point, and that it's not about intelligence or even, displaying knowledge is not what it's about, because that makes you look like some sort of bragger. But asking maybe intelligent questions, or questions that well, make him feel more interesting. But the art of asking questions, then that in and of itself, to me, demonstrates that somebody has something on the ball.
That point you just made, I think that's what makes you such a successful interviewer, and it helps me also in that we're both curious people, and that we want to pick up new information from the people we're speaking to. So we do that in everyday life. I mean, one of the reasons why you're really good at what you do, and I'm doing the best I can, is that I'm naturally curious, as you are. And I think that's another thing that we can't fake. You have to be authentically interested to have a good conversation, because otherwise you're just zoned into what you're zoned into, and that's it. And if that's the case, you're going to limit your opportunities, because your scope is going to be limited. So I would say be open-minded, always want to learn new things, but be organically curious as best you can.
Well, again, interesting topic. I can't wait to hear the comments on this one. And Robert, as usual, we'll link to all of your information, to your book, to your radio program, which is now broadcast worldwide on UK radio.
UK Health Radio. Yep.
UK Health Radio. I'll put the graphic up on it. That's terrific. And we'll see you again soon on Second Act TV.
Thank you.